Hey everyone, my name is Stepheny and welcome to the Stepheny Studio Art Material Review. As a mixed media artist, I've worked with countless materials, some I swear by and others, let's just say I wish there was a review that I saw that warned me first. So that's why I'm here, to give you the inside scoop on the pros, the cons, and everything in between. Some of these materials are my absolute favorites and others I'm super excited to test out. So buckle in and let's dive into this exciting journey through the world of art materials. Today, I will be reviewing Relief Outliners by Pébéo. These are paint-like materials sold individually in 20 milliliter tubes. Here in Canada, I've only seen it in Michael's. Apparently online it says it's also at Above Ground. I've never seen it there, but if you know anywhere else that it's sold, let a girl know. Typically, they range from about $7 to $8 each. They do go on sale from time to time, but for the most part, it's about that price. The tube itself has a long snout for precise mark making. Each tube gives a suggestion on what it could be used on, whether it's metal, glass, porcelain, etc., etc. It's important to read the label if you're going to use any of these products and you want to bake it on and put it in the dishwasher. It gives you how long it should dry, gives you the temperature it should be at in the oven. Definitely check those out and any warnings. We're trying to stay safe out here. When using the paint tube, you can roll it up or use one of these twists you would typically use for other paint tubes. So the three variety I have today are the Cerne Reliefs, the Vitrea 160, and the Porcelaine 150. The Cerne Reliefs I have black, transparent, and transparent glitter. For Vitrea 160, I have pearl, pewter, pepper red, and emerald. And the only Porcelaine 150 I have is copper. So let's give these a try. First up, we have the transparent outliner. This one I've used before. You can see the difference between the crinkled tube and the nice new fresh tube. Initially when I'm using it's a little bit challenging to come out, I think because it might have dried a little bit on the inside, but overall it's fine. It is transparent once it's dried, so when it originally comes out it does look white. Don't be concerned, it's going to dry clear. Next is the transparent glitter. This one I've also used before. For some reason this packaging is falling apart. It's getting all over my hands, my desk. I don't understand why. Everything else stays intact, but whatever. Using it, more of a challenge than the transparent one. I think maybe because of the glitter as well, makes it stick to the inside. So you have to use quite a little bit of force to push the product out. But once it's out and dried, this is an example of what it looks like. It looks nice. The glitter, you can see it shines nicely against the lighting. Might not be as popularly used in other big fine art paintings, drawings, etc. This one might be a little bit more for crafts or just a little extra pizzazzle on whatever you're doing. Next, we have the black. Now this one I've used before, as you've all seen in my discovery painting. I used it all over that painting to show the intricate fine lines. Now this one, it comes out guns blazing. This one you need to be prepared. I don't know if it's all of the black Cerne Reliefs, but this tube in particular, once it gets a going, it doesn't want to stop. So you have to be prepared for what you're using it on and where you're using it, because you will need to recap it quickly or it's going to get everywhere. And these are $8. You're not trying to waste that. We got the OG. Now we got Pearl, my girl, Pearl. Okay, this is where it started. This is where the dreams came true. I was in Michael's one day, I had a gift card and I said, sure, why don't we give it a try? I don't know what it is, I don't know what it does, but sure. And so y'all don't have to do that. This is why I've started these. I used it notably on my Next Stop Entropy painting. As you can see, trying her now, a little bit of an antique. The color has changed, it's giving sepia tone. It's giving antique relic. It doesn't have the same tones and colors anymore. I guess it's aged out. So that's fun to note that it ages out. Next, we have all of the new ones I bought. So none of these I've used before in previous paintings or artwork. So all these are going to be tried for the first time now. Now, because they are new, they need to be punctured. So once you twist off the lid, you will see it's unopened completely, so you'll need to puncture it. I just use a basic old paint lid that has the puncture point easy enough. I'm sure you can find something fancier, but it worked just fine. You see the paint came out. Retwist on the lid and you can see the product slowly coming out of that snout, ready to use. I think pewter might have had a bit of an air bubble because there's that little burst of extra air. So I find it very important to test out your products before you put it on your final piece or whatever you're working on. Whether it's a spare piece of canvas, paper, a napkin, anything, because the last thing you need is to be working on something for hours, for days, and then suddenly you put this last little cute piece of outliner and that happens. We don't need that. We don't want that. So always do a test. Overall, the pewter's fairly smooth. It came out very easily compared to the transparent outliners, but still had a little hiccup. Next, we have our one and only Porcelaine 150. This one, oh, a dream. These are what dreams are made of. This is the magic we want in our daily lives. Smooth, stunning, no notes. Now, pepper red. I don't know what it was about pepper red. I don't know if it was my artistic intuition. Anybody let me know if this happens to you, but the way it felt in my hand, I said, it's a bit different. I don't know if there's a mixture gone wrong. I don't know if there's an air bubble. So I took that foreshadowing and I tested it out on a corner. And as you can see, disaster. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was the mixing process. I don't know if it was an air bubble. Who knows what happened? Example number 2, why you have to test things out on the side. Because who knows what's gonna happen once it's freshly opened. I tried it in the lineup. Again, disaster. But I continue the line a little bit further out to see if it looks a little bit better. It does. We'll see how it dries. Finally, we have Emerald. Now this one, my goodness, dreams. This is another one that dreams were made of. It came out smooth. It came out in a nice line, consistent, no air bubbles, no weird mixtures, stunning. I still advise to test it like I did because you never know. It could have been another pepper red. It's still a Vitrea 160. It's still a solid opaque color like the red. So who knows? Who knows what you're gonna get? So always test it out. Quick outfit change. Now I'll show you a couple of test examples of some transparent outliners used on canvas and paper. For both examples, I used a transparent outliner at the base. I let it dry. Typically you can let it dry for about an hour before you can start adding more materials on top. But in both cases, I'm pretty sure I just did them the next day. For the paper experiment, I did a quick little floral design. Once everything was dried the next day, I took some acrylic paint, I did a little wash on top, and I wiped away the excess that was on the transparent outliner. As you can see, you can clearly see through it. It's not as clear, stark white as the original paper because there was a wash on top, but if you have a pattern at the bottom, if the base color you want to see through to the top and you're using acrylic paint, I think this would be a great tool to use for that type of effect. Next, I experimented with an oil-based material rather than a water-based like the acrylic. I did a little circle pattern on top of previously dried red paint. I put the oil material on top. No, it didn't come off. It didn't have the same effect. In that case, using an oil-based media, it would work better having the transparent outliner as an underneath texture rather than a see-through effect like acrylic paint. Both good options depending what you're looking for, but two very different outcomes. Finally, I'm going to show you what these materials look like on a ceramic mug and a glass. First, I use the ceramic mug with the Porcelaine 150 copper. I just happened to have one of my Stepheny Studio work-life balance work rest mugs just ready to use. You can purchase it at stephenystudio.com. In this case, it came out smooth, it came out consistent, the lines were even. There was really no issues with this particular experiment. Now I didn't bake it, though that will be a different day for different experiments. Same with the glass, didn't bake it on, but just to show you what the texture looks like on this material, I used the mug. Next, I did an experiment on glass. Now, I painted this glass last summer. I added some limes design on it, and I just used the emerald to do a quick little outline just to show you what it looks like again on this type of material. For the limes though, I didn't just do lines like I did on the mugs. I also show you the difference of when you build up material to when you just make a quick line. So now that it's dried, you can see it's flattened ever so slightly, but still gives the height and texture that you were looking for. You can see the texture on the mug, you can see the texture on the glass, and you can see how all the other relief outliners have dried. The transparent ones are clear now. Even with pepper red, you can see there's still a little bit of discoloration, but overall, the red really stands out. Now my final thoughts. My final thoughts are I love these Relief outliners. I think they're perfect for a little extra texture, a little precision, a little detail. Perfect. Any of the problems have really just come from an air bubble or a weird mixing issue. The performance, I would give it a 3. I would have given it more, but Pepper Red took out a whole star by herself. It was just too much. Besides Pepper Red, it was Pewter having an air bubble, the transparent outliners being difficult to get out the product, but overall it's still really good. It's just a couple hiccups along the way. Ease to use, I would say a 4. It's pretty easy to use. Really, the only challenges come from having a steady hand if you're using it for precise details, applying the right amount of pressure so that you get the details that you want. It doesn't come out a big clumpy mess or nothing comes out. For value for money, I give it a 4 because I kind of understand why it's $8. Still kind of pricey. Don't get me wrong, $8 for 20 milliliters. But it's because of all of the different materials and mediums you can use these on. You can bake it in the oven and put it on a glass or mug, dishware or whatever. Some acrylic paints, it's gonna crack. Translucent, it's not gonna give the same effect. So I kind of understand the price, but I wish this came in like a discovery variety pack in some way that you can test out different colors and textures rather than having to buy them all individually. Overall, I give it a 4. It's a great product. It can be used on so many different things. For the most part, what I've used it on is paper and canvas. Works perfectly. It sets perfectly with all the varnishes I've used. So that's what I would say. I guess keep an eye on it as it ages out. Besides some of the hiccups, it's a good product. And those really could have just been those specific tubes weren't mixed properly, had some weird air bubble. You can buy your own Pepper Red and it's perfectly fine. It's just giving you the heads up that this could happen. Try them out on your paintings, your metals, your woods, your canvas, whatever you're using it on, and let me know. Did you have a Pepper Red situation? Was it looking as stunning as emerald? Also, if you want me to try any other colors, if you have tried other colors and you're like, this is even better than copper, let me know as well. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, want to see other reviewed other products, any suggestions, let me know and I can test them out so you don't have to. Check out my Instagram, my TikTok, and my website to see the latest videos.